So, a lot of times when people come into my studio, they are baffled by the sight of this thing right here. The 12-string guitar headstock. And they wonder and ask me, what instrument is that? And that is a 12-string guitar, which I thought was common. But much to my surprise, I actually went on YouTube and I didn't find a lot of info on these guys, which I thought were popular, but I guess not. So I'm gonna seize this opportunity and talk to you about 12-string guitars and show off my beautiful 83 Ovation Ultra. Sick guitar. So hello everybody and welcome to a new video and welcome to my channel where we talk about everything music from death metal to Queen and everything in between. On today's video I will talk to you about 12-string guitars, who use them, how to play them, what are they tuned to, and you know, anything else that comes up. Alright, so as you can see, this guitar is actually older than I am and it's missing a string. It's, you know, it needs a little TLC because it doesn't really get played much. But let me put a fresh set of strings on it, tune it up, clean it up, get it ready to go, and let's talk about 12-string guitars in general. But before we get to that, if you enjoy the content and you want to help support the channel big time, please make sure you subscribe to this channel like a man if you haven't yet, and if you can, please consider becoming a patron to the channel. A little goes a long way, we surely do appreciate it. Alright, new strings. If it only were that easy. Anyway, so here we go. 12-string guitar. This is it. This is what it looks like, and this is what it sounds like. These guitars started to become popular in the beginning of the 20th century. Funny enough, we don't actually know much about the origins of the 12-string guitar. The only thing we do know is that by 1904-05, they were everywhere. There were actually a couple of artists that were playing it constantly, and they became pretty popular after that. So we can only assume that they came about in the late 1800s. Apparently, the biggest theory is that they were actually invented in Mexico because they were already playing a lot of string instruments with pairs of strings, like the bajo sexto and stuff like that. Another theory is that they were actually made by Italian luthiers and they were basically just taken after the laúd. And a theory I like to raise is that, you know, they're very much like mandolins too as well. So, you know, mandolins have been made since like the 1700s, so maybe they've been around for a while. We just don't know. Now, of course, like all guitars, they come in different sizes and shapes, but this would be like a regular dreadnought shape as far as the front goes, and of course the back is carbon fiber because it is an Ovation. But they're all standard in the sense that they have like a regular shaped neck. You know, it's not a lot wider than a regular acoustic guitar neck, but of course the string spacing, it's a lot smaller between them, and boy, I'll tell you, they're a pain to restring. You gotta get them in here across the bridge, and this one luckily doesn't have pins, but if it did, it would be even worse. Now, of course, it is a 12-string, so you would assume that it's twice as hard to restring than a regular guitar, but it's actually a lot harder than that. Mainly because of the fact that, you know, the strings are very close to each other. You gotta fumble with the pins. The tuning keys are very close to each other too, so it's really hard to wind. And of course, if you actually do get distracted, you might put the wrong string in the wrong slot, and that's a whole ordeal. No! But once they're done, it's definitely worth it. Now, as far as the tuning goes, you can actually tune these to whatever you tune your guitar to. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but standard, they're actually tuned to standard E. So it's E, A, D, G, B, and E. And it's done in pairs, so you get two strings tuned to the same note. Now, if you pay close attention to them, they're not the same string. This is a high E, and this is the low E. So that would be a regular low E tuning, and this would be an octave higher. Basically like playing the 12th fret on the same string. Same applies to these. You have a high A, and then a regular A. High D, regular D, a G, high G, regular G, and then the B's and the E's are the same. Now again, typically you have the higher string on the 12th, and then 11 is low, then 10 is high again, 9 is low, 8 is high, 7, and so on. But you can actually flip them around if you want to. Famously, Brian May would do that. He would actually flip them around. So he would have a low note on the 12th string, and then the 11th would be the high one. Now, needless to say, I actually bought this guitar because Brian May played one. His was natural, but you know, I got close enough. Now, why play a 12th string? Well, as David Gilmour famously said,
do you use a 12 string much?
Once in a while.
Why? Why would you use a 12 string?
Well, just listen to that. You tell me.
Yeah, no, well, like, I can see that.
Need I say more? I mean, he played different chords, but yeah, that's basically the gist of it. He just played it and said, hey, need I say more? Need I explain this? And yeah, they sound great. First of all, they are louder. So imagine in a world before amplifiers, this would be awesome for like street musicians and people like that. You couldn't really amplify a guitar, so you would just get a 12-string guitar and strum away. It would be loud. Secondly, because of the fact that they're actually tuned to different octaves, it actually sounds sort of like if you had a chorus pedal engaged. Check this out. They're new strings and they're really hard to pull on, so yeah, it takes them a second to settle in, and that's why they sound a little bit off tune, but I think you get the idea. And also, if you strum them, they just sound great, man. I love the sound of a 12 string. Now the cons on a 12 string are of course the fact that, you have to string them up and it takes forever. And because of the fact that you have twice the amount of strings, you actually have to press down harder on the strings. So check this out. I mean, I almost never get calluses and I look gnarly. But the upside of course is the fact that they just sound great. So if you're playing an acoustic song and it doesn't sound quite right, maybe check one of these out. That might do the trick. I mean, I can sit here and name a whole plethora of musicians that play 12-string guitars, and it could go on forever. But instead, what I am going to tell you is that if you really want to spruce up your acoustic guitar sound, get one of these guys here. They sound amazing, they're loud, and they make your recording sound huge. It's basically like playing two guitars at the same time in two different octaves. Think about it this way. If playing a regular guitar sounds like playing a piano with two hands, this is like playing a piano with four hands. And that is awesome. You get a huge range of harmonic content. Anyway guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please drop me a like if you did. Drop me a comment in the comment section down below. And if you got a minute or two, check out one of these two videos. I'll see you guys next time. Pat out, middle on, dudes.